so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. It's rotating.
You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fun bonus question before we start the show. If the United States government military industrial complex developed alien technology, would they disclose it to the world, or would they weaponize it and do anything to keep it secret? What if that technology is so advanced, right, that God knows what the implications are? What would the government do? Oh, it's too much of a big secret, we'll have to come out? Or would they weaponize it? Just, I wonder what you think. Now let's start the show. Welcome to Kill the Stigma. So I got a question. That's something I'm trying to understand. Why is a missing older lady, which I feel horrible for, more interesting, Nancy Guthrie is what I'm talking about, than people with state secrets, super classified stuff? I mean, talk about national security. And 10 of them. 10 of these people gone, or 11, or whatever the hell it is. Why? Because, like, the thing is, I do see the media reporting on it, but I don't see the public outcry for everybody wanting to get to the bottom of Nancy, including myself. I wanted to know. I have a friend who was really into the case, and she's not even following the missing scientist. Of course I know what it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, the freaking headline, as soon as it says UFOs, people check out. They check out. Here we go. Here we go again. Peace. I'm out. Gotta go. But, just so you know, let me just, look, let me fill you in just real quick. 2023, there was the UAP here, and we had a whistleblower named David Grush. Just hang on look, don't you check out. I don't care if you're just one person out there, don't check out yet. Give me a chance. Will you give me a chance? Give me an opportunity. All I ask is for the opportunity for you to listen to me. Please. Thank you. Now, there's so much to say here, but I can't go back to 2017. But I'll do it briefly. 2017, it came out that the government had been studying UFOs. There was videos leaked which made the story by New York Times. Then Congress started listening to pilots, and fast forward, there was near misses, there was interest. Congress started noticing that they weren't getting answers from the intelligence community, which led to the creation of the UAP task force. In the UAP task force, they find out that the government has alien technology or whatever. And some people found this out, and there was a struggle, like a war. Like there's some people that wanted the secret, people that didn't. It's complicated. We don't really know what's going on. There's very, very freaking weird, but there's something going on. We know that, right? Well, then David Grush comes out. David Grush is this guy, briefed the president of the United States, did the daily brief or whatever. super high up, had all the tickets, all the clearances. I'll let you hear him out, okay? And this is important because we're talking about, oh, the missing scientists, they killed scientists. This goes way back, man. This goes way back, but we never had the opportunity. Interest wasn't there. The media wasn't there. But you freaking tinfoil hat, you freaking crazy dude. You freaking get away from me, dude. Like you, that loco man, he's crazy, dude. Take him to the psych ward. Hey, that dude. Did you get an anal probe too, bro? You get an anal probe too? It's struggle was real, dude. So here's David.
In the last couple of years, have you had incidences that have caused you to be in fear for your life for addressing these issues?
Yes, personally.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Have anyone been murdered that you would that you know of or have heard of, I guess?
I have to be careful asking that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities.
Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity, and I got
by UAPs or by people within the federal government?
both.
If you were me, where would you look? Titles, programs, departments?
I'd be happy to give you that in a closed environment. I can tell you specifically.
All right, so look, this is why I'm posting this, okay? I'm posting this because I keep hearing out there in the news, oh, this has nothing to do with UFOs. It's ruining the investigation. And my point in the beginning was important. I think a lot of people check out because they don't. Look, man, they're called intelligence communities for a reason. These people are intelligent, all right? Intelligent means that, like, it's genius. It's not even intelligent. It's genius what they do, all right? They stigmatize the topic, but look, and they make you psychologically check out. It's by ridiculing, by making it seem impossible, and then you might continue, okay? So this was in 2023. There's already people talking about fear of their lives. Look at Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar had to go public in 1989 because he thought they were going to kill him. This goes way back, all right? So, like, yeah, Trump is... Sometimes I'm like, oh, Trump's going to disclose the files. Remember, the general went missing after that. And General McCaslin. And, I just kind of wonder... How do you disclose the files or the real truth? Everybody's gone. All right, think about this. You know what the United States does for treason? For leaking classified information? What was General McCaslin talking to Tom DeLonge? Why was Jim Samivan looking at the book Secret Machines Chasing Shadows? Why was he? Because, there was a part there that seemed kind of classified. So technically, someone who's very concerned out there could be, the general. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say it, but that's treason, right? That's like leaking classified information, especially on this level of whatever the implications are of this tech. And why? Why did Monica Reza, who was working with the general, why didn't she even get a freaking burial? She got a green burial, which is when your body goes biodegradable. Why is everything so sketch? Why are there no investigations now that Trump had to announce an investigation? Okay, Trump had to do it. It had to come from him because of the thank you, media. Finally, you're helping us out here. But the DIA doesn't want to look at this. The CIA doesn't want to look at this. The FBI is now kind of forced into it. Why is this so shadiness? What? Then NSA either, like, there should be on top of this. They don't want to. Why? And why was Monica was the star because of this metal alloy that helped her. Look, this lady did so much important work for the national security infrastructure, and she disappears and just gone, just like that, and like nothing. Oh, and wait, you're gonna see something really interesting here about the shadiness of this and how these cases overlap. All right, I'm gonna link down below for this woman who's I found. This woman does a pretty good. I've never seen her before, but she does a really good job at going down the rabbit hole, and she does it in like 3 hours or something, or a little bit less, and it explains why this is important, how it connects, and how all the cases connect, and goes down the UAP rabbit hole too. And she did a good job. She doesn't cover much of this. I think her main topic's Jeffrey Epstein. So I love to see people like that going, and presenting it well. But look at this.
In 2005, Dallas Hardwick was leading all materials research for advanced group turbine engines at the Air Force Research Laboratory Materials Directorate at Wright-Patterson. This was the exact place and the exact program that General McCaslin was in charge of. Now, I also want to talk about the Sentinel Network. Check them out because they've done amazing work on these cases. They do online reporting. They've untwisted the web. They've been trying to decode things. And as they said, quote, Monica Reza built the alloy at Aerojet Rocketdyne. Hardwick's team qualified it at Wright-Patterson. When McCaslin took command of the Air Force Research Lab in May of 2011, Hardwick was still there. Reza's contracts were still active. All three of them were on the same program at the same time, end quote. The Sentinel goes on to report that until 2023, every public record listed Monica Reza as Monica Jacinto. So I believe that was her married name. And she was listed as a technical fellow at Aerojet Rocketdyne. In July of 2023, a company called L3 Harris acquired Aerojet for $4.7 billion. Whew, that's a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, after that, Monica is being referred to as Monica Reza of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and NASA. She was actually listed as that on the 2024-2025 Dean's Advisory Board at Caltech. So the Sentinel says, quote, she moved from the defense contractor that builds the engines to the NASA lab that sits in the Crescenta Valley 30 miles down Angeles Crest Highway from the ridgeline where she vanished, under her family name rather than the professional name attached to her patents and publications, end quote. So JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, as we know, is a federally funded research and development center managed by Caltech for NASA. It builds planetary spacecraft, operates something called the Deep Space Network. The Deep Space Network is a global system of giant radio antennas used by NASA to communicate with spacecraft far beyond Earth. So an article in Science Daily from 2025 said that from this network of antennas and communication centers that's going out into deep space, we might accidentally be broadcasting our location and our existence to alien civilizations. Quote, a new study shows that our deep space transmissions, especially those aimed at Mars and interplanetary spacecraft, spill over into space in detectable patterns. If extraterrestrial observers were aligned with a certain planetary position, they'd have a strong chance of catching our signals, end quote. I believe the actual study, because I read it, it said something like there was a 77% chance that if there was like aliens out there, we would be sending like huge messages like, here we are, we're over here. That is quite strong, 77%. Now, the article goes on to say that the findings suggest that by mirroring this logic, looking for exoplanet alignments and focusing on nearby star systems, we could boost our own search for alien technosignatures. And I know someone who was doing that, focusing on nearby star systems and looking for exoplanets. His name was Carl Grillmeyer, and he was shot dead on his front porch on February 16th, 2026 in California. Carl Grillmeyer also worked for Caltech and NASA, and if you choose to continue this journey with me, we will get there. So
Oh, that's the dude that was, some guy shot him. He gets arrested. They let him go. Then he goes and shoots this guy. Then he kills himself, man. What? This guy's in the middle of nowhere. Way, way out there.
Sentinel Network, they go on to point out that after Monica disappeared, there was no public statement from Aerojet Rocketdyne, which she worked for forever. She created like this super alloy that allowed them to, be the favorite child of the United States government and military. There was no public statement from NASA or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is where she was working at the time of her disappearance. The Sentinel Network's article says, quote, the only signal from inside the system is a Reddit comment on the social hiking platform that says, quote, any updates on the search? I'm a JP Eller, and something is not right about this story. She needs to be found, end quote. Now, Monica's Mondaloy co-inventor, Dallas Hardwick, also quietly passed away in Dayton, Ohio on January 4th, 2014, after a stage 4 breast cancer diagnosis. Once again, no announcements or memorials were made. Dallas Hardwick was at that time still working remotely for the Air Force Research Lab at Wright-Patterson. She had helped create something that benefited her country and national security and the military so much. Space travel, right? She had been awarded the Meritorious Civilian Service Medal, but nothing, not even a mention of her death in her local paper, the Dayton Daily News. 4 days after Monica disappeared and 3 days before the official search was ended or suspended, someone created a memorial for Monica Reza on Find a Grave. So I will put it up here because now if you try to find it on the internet, it says that the link is no longer there. And it was created by somebody who identified themselves as Lillian, and their profile is no longer publicly accessible. But, we've got the Wayback Machine and we're able to find things. Once again, I'm sure the powers that be hate the Wayback Machine. This memorial stated that Monica Reza, born December 30th, 1964, died June 22nd, 2025, the day she went missing. It says death location, Angeles National Forest, Los Angeles County, California, USA. And the remains, it says green burial. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with.
Stephanie does a great job. Isn't that sus, man? Like, we need to use the Wayback Machine now to access this. What is going on? Why the secrecy? Why? I guess I don't know, man. I think we don't know the implications of this technology. And objection, Your Honor. If someone is in charge of this tech, let's say you're CIA, Director of Science and Technology, you're working with alien tech. Who's got access to that, right? Because it's supposed to be like, screw politics, man. Screw politics, screw people that get elected. No. We're doing the real work here, bro. We're doing the real work here, and guess what? No one gets to know about our success. They only know about when we fail. Balls that you get elected, come here and start barking orders. You're just a appointed official, man. This is the real work we're doing. I'm not going to let you bark on my turf. All right? And I got alien tech. They don't. Trump doesn't. Pete Hegseth doesn't. Elected officials. What are the implications of that tech? And is it enough to go rogue? To go rogue because your freaking F-35s ain't going to do shit, dude. Just throwing that out there. I don't know, dude. I don't know what that thing does. Maybe we can be invisible and walk around, dude. I don't know. Maybe you can control people's minds and then go get that scientist in the middle of nowhere and then make some random dude do it and then whack his brain. Dude, I don't know, man. Look, man, I know. I'm sorry. I know that's kind of dark. I know, but we don't really know what the implications are of this shit. And is it enough for somebody to go rogue? Or a few people to go rogue? What do you guys think? Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, you know what's going on, guys? Let me open up here. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, today is Monday. And I'll tell you what, it's an honor to be here with you guys today. Another week. And I feel good, man. I'm making these little podcasts. I don't know if it's the topic on these sides. Actually, I know why I'm feeling so good, but a little bit healthier than a couple months ago in my life. So that's probably what it is. But look, let's just keep going. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep finding out what's going on. And spread the word. Share, please. Share this. I know I never put any effort on it. I will. I'm going to take this more seriously. Do better content. I don't know. I love this. I love this topic. So, anyways, have a good one, guys.